Noon is sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. Our top story, continuing team coverage of the assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. A search underway this noon for the suspect, and we have new information on the person that the FBI is looking for. Bo Mason with the Utah Department of Public Safety says they have footage of the suspect now.
The suspect blended in well with a college institution. We're not releasing many details right now, and we will soon. But right now we're not. But that individual appears to be of college age.
Pierre Thomas is following the investigation.
The surveillance footage around the campus yielded information and images of the shooter, and they're very confident based on the clear imaging that they have that they can identify this person. Also, because they had those images, they were able to track the suspect into the woods. That's where they found a weapon that they suspect was used in the shooting. They won't know until they do additional forensic work on that, the palm impression, all the other evidence.
And the weapon was a high-powered rifle, and we're just getting word that Salt Lake City FBI has released a picture of the suspect on their website. A Georgia expert on extremism weighing in this noon on the assassination as authorities are searching for a motive and that suspect.
Georgia State University professor Dr. Tony Lemieux has studied the dynamics of radicalization, extremism, and terrorism.
Let's start with a quick, I think, a blanket condemnation of this kind of violence.
Lemieux says social media has been a factor in radicalizing younger people to some extent, narrowing viewpoints.
If it runs towards, its sort of outer limits, it puts people in relatively totally different realities.
He says it can also foster polarization, something he says we're seeing more and more of. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
All right, your weather for today, a mix of clouds and sun. Going to be warmer this afternoon, high around 87. Will we see the 90s again? Well, WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's only 5-day forecast. That comes your way at 12:05. Hundreds of Korean nationals who've been in immigration custody here in Georgia are right now on a plane that has now taken off from Hartsfield-Jackson.
Atlanta immigration attorney Charles Cook says his clients are ready to go home.
They're so grateful.
Cook represents 10 of the Korean nationals who were taken into immigration custody during a raid at a South Georgia Hyundai manufacturing facility last week and have been in a diplomatic holding pattern ever since. Cook says they didn't violate any immigration laws.
Each is eligible to return to the United States immediately.
But most of his clients say they won't. Cook says the whole situation was avoidable and puts the blame on ICE. A spokesperson for the agency declined to comment. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
And this is the anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. President Trump paid tribute to conservative activist Charlie Kirk today as he attended the 9/11 memorial at the Pentagon. Linda Kenyon has more.
The president was at the Pentagon to mark 24 years since the 9/11 attacks, but he also had something else on his mind.
Before we begin, let me express the horror and grief so many Americans at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk was killed while speaking to college students in Utah.
I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Trump called Kirk, quote, a giant of his generation.
The victims of Flight 93 have been remembered at the site of where the plane crashed 24 years ago today outside Shanksville in Pennsylvania. Stephen Clark is superintendent of the Flight 93 National Memorial.
With heartfelt warmth, we welcome the many family members and loved ones of the passengers and crew members of Flight 93. We are honored that you are joining us this morning, both in person and virtually, from literally all over the world.
And the names of the 40 people who died aboard United Flight 93 were read, and there was a tolling of bells and the laying of a wreath. There are also a number of 9/11 events today around the metro Atlanta area. The Hall County Sheriff's Office has launched a professionally produced video as part of a public safety education program on scam prevention. This after a growing number of seniors there have fallen victim.
Scammers prey on trust, fear, and confusion, but you can stop them with one thing: knowledge.
The video featuring Hall County Sheriff Gerald Couch. The video's on social media. Also, it's being shown at community meetings. The latest numbers from FBI showing seniors lost nearly $5 billion to fraud in 2024. It's a significant increase from the year before. Fulton County will now collect property taxes for residents in Palmetto and Union City. The change will put city taxes on county bills. This means bills will be issued and taxes are payable to the Fulton County Tax Commissioner. Residents of Palmetto who live in Coweta County will not be impacted. Fulton County usually sends out tax bills earlier than cities, so residents can expect to receive the city portion of their property tax bills sooner than in previous years. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 50 as at 500. 571 at 46,062. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's not far behind. Neither is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Still watching the brake light battle through Lithonia, Sabrina. It's a crash in two left lanes. At times they're holding all lanes. 20 westbound into Cab past Panola Road, exit 71. Delays back to Turner Hill. Use Covington Highway. You got right lane construction in both directions between Kennesaw and Ackworth. Southbound, they're in the right lane before Barrett Parkway. Northbound, north of Wade Green Road. And then 75 north, crash still in the right lane in Emerson, right at Old Allatoona Road, exit 283. Go ahead, use Highway 41 and avoid all that mess. Alex Williams, 95.5 WUSB.
The 5-day forecast sponsored by Shoemake, the official air conditioning of Atlanta.
Partly cloudy, trending hotter today with a high of 87. Sunset this evening around 7:45. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s at that time, then cooling down to the mid-60s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, trending even hotter with a sunny sky, high near 90. Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. Staying hot and dry for the beginning of next week with highs near 90.
More news at 12:30. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Your noon keyword is ring, R-I-N-G, ring. Enter the keyword ring into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is ring, R-I-N-G. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Good luck.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson here. It is September 11th. 24 years ago today, we were watching terror come from the skies. Today, we are reflecting on terror on a college campus yesterday. Charlie Kirk, as you know by now, is dead. 90 years ago to the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and it was a political assassination. 90 years ago to the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the governor of Louisiana, Huey P. Long, was assassinated. His son, Russell Long, would go on to say that this nation must use ballots and not bullets to decide its destiny. There are increasingly people who choose to use bullets, not ballots. There's a lot of evil, and evil comes in pairs. There are those who insist on the left that they must become vigilantes and take on the right, and there are those on the right who say we must respond in kind. I would tell you that you got to respond and you have to fight, but the fight that you have to wage is different. It's not a fight with bullets shooting people on the left you disagree with. It's winning at the ballot box. It is winning the national debate, and I suspect that there are a lot of young men and women today who have been radicalized by what they saw yesterday and have moved right. Charlie Kirk was the leader of the youth movement on the right, had a massive following, a massive number of high school, collegiate, and even professional athletes, and the quiet conservatives in Hollywood paid attention to him. People are starting to speak out, and they should. And the left has decided to engage in this both sidesism and say, well, it's Donald Trump. You know what? Let me play you this. This is Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, who spoke with Chuck Todd the day before Charlie Kirk's assassination.
We're not going to convince Donald Trump to stand down in his attempts to destroy our democracy through de-escalatory politics. Like, that's just not happening. So our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire right now. So, yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, you know, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like, we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
When I hear that, I wonder is there enough people that believe that same thing? And until you get more to believe that may be why the Democrats aren't rowing in the same direction yet.
You can't get people to believe it if you don't act like it.
You can't get people to believe it if you don't act like it. We're in a war. You got to do things you didn't think you would have to do. The norms are shattered. Don't cry over them. We're in a war. We got to save democracy. Is this what you mean, Chris Murphy? Is this what you had in mind? I suspect you're okay with it. You know how I suspect you're okay with it? Because you would have come out pretty forcefully and denounced what happened to Charlie Kirk, and you haven't really said much of anything. And the Democrats who have, like J.D. Pritzker and Elizabeth Warren, they've come out, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump. Every damn time there's violence on the right, I get lectured by you people in the media and Democrats about how there's violence on the right. And every time there's violence on the left, I get lectured about how there's violence on the right. Can we talk about the violence on the left for just one little minute here? Can we talk about the left-wing anti-Semite who murdered the 2 Israeli embassy employees? Can we talk about Floyd Lee Corkins who tried to mass murder the Family Research Council? Can we talk about James Hodgkinson, who attempted the mass murder of Republican members of Congress? Can we talk about the transgender shooters at Covenant in Nashville and the Catholic school in Minneapolis? Can we talk about the inordinate amount of left-wing violence? What about Butler, Pennsylvania? What about the guy in Florida who tried to kill Donald Trump? You know, every single time that happens, you people on the left in the media and the voices from the left on TV and in the newspapers say, well, but they kind of brought it on themselves. In fact, this is what we're hearing from people right now. Charlie Kirk kind of brought it on himself. If you do not understand that no one brings death on themselves for political opinions in this country, you will increase the violence. We are at a turning point in this country. And you people on the left need to decide what you are going to do with your own side, because you try to police the right and you can't do it. You try to make members of the right radioactive. You can't do it. You embolden them. So police your own damn side for once, please. You have a transgender activist. And how do we know? Because the casings, the bullets, the gun, they all had pro-trans activism stuff and anti-fascist stuff carved on them, written on them, graffitied on them. You've been calling everybody on the right fascist. You call Charlie Kirk fascist. You call Donald Trump fascist. The bullets seem to be flying an awful lot in one direction. You say, oh, what about the guy in Minnesota who killed the Speaker of the House? You know, he was a patronage employee of Tim Walz. You tried to make that a right versus left dichotomy, and the facts show it doesn't actually work. But you had to try to twist it and say, here's right-wing violence. Or January 6th. How many people died on January 6th? Can you tell me how many bullets flew in the air on January 6th? Only a couple, and they were at one of the activists on the right. The bullets are flying, and they're not coming from the right. And the response for the right is not to fly bullets at the left. It's to beat them decisively in the court of public opinion. It's to do exactly what Charlie Kirk did, to go to college campuses and convince people to be on our side. It's to stand up and be brave against the tyranny of the left. It's to stand up and point out they're the ones killing people who disagree with them. It's to stand up and say, you call Donald Trump an authoritarian, but you're the side got the people murdering people. And it's to go into your neighborhoods and see and be seen loving your local community. And it's to stand for law enforcement. It's to stand up for justice. It's to demand justice. This is the governor of Utah.
It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Yes. And now compare that to Governor Pritzker.
My sympathy to Charlie Kirk's family and to Charlie Kirk, who obviously has, become a target for somebody. I don't know whether it's political violence because I don't know who did it. I know they seem to have somebody in custody. But I will say that political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this country. We saw the shootings, the killings in Minnesota. We've seen other political violence occur in other states. And I would just say it's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it in this country. I think the president's rhetoric often foments it.
You got that? Yeah, I think the presidents. What about people on the left? What about Chris Murphy? Where's the denunciation from Democrats on Chris Murphy, huh? You haven't heard any denunciations of Chris Murphy, a sitting United States senator saying we're at war and you got to do things you otherwise wouldn't consider doing to save our democracy. Is that not a call to violence? Listen, I'm angry. The Bible says you can be angry. Do not sin. Try not to sin here. But let's step back from the politicians for just a minute, please. Step back from the politicians, because it's larger than the politicians. Because on social media, what you don't see, what maybe you haven't seen, is the number of just ordinary Americans who feel very, very comfortable cheering on what happened. There was the Indiana Bartholomew County Democratic Party that on social media said violent delights have violent ends. How is Charlie Kirk violent? He spoke. See, people on the left have decided words are violence, and so they can be met with physical violence. That's the polluting rage and insanity of the left. That somehow him speaking justified him being killed. But it goes beyond that. There are others as well. There was the assistant dean of students at Middle Tennessee University. And she said, hate begets hate, zero sympathy. There was the employee for Carnival Associates, which helps people with behavioral and mental health disorders, who said Charlie Kirk faced the consequences of his own actions. There was the acclaimed novelist who wrote, "Hope the bullet's okay," after touching Charlie Kirk. The emotional support teacher in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, who said she extends absolutely no empathy for people like this. And the Fairview Park City Council president in Ohio, who declared a lot of good people died today. Charlie Kirk wasn't one of them. These are regular Americans. They're not even political activists on the left. They're regular Americans. They're an assistant dean of students at Middle Tennessee State University. They're a psychologist, they're teachers, they're lawyers, and they're willing to go on social media, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and use their own names and say, got what he deserved. He spoke words. Speaking words in this country, we used to always have a common agreement, did not deserve bullets in return. The New York Times editorial board wrote, this is a quote, "This editorial board disagreed with Mr. Kirk on many political questions or policy questions, and we are unreservedly horrified by his killing. We grieve for his loved ones. We mourn his death." See, Barack Obama and Joe Biden both came out and said, people, come on, you can't do this to other people in this country. Hakeem Jeffries came out and denounced it. The New York Yankees had a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. The leaders did set the right tone here. But where are they speaking to the base of the Democratic Party? You can't hide behind but Trump. You think the other side is festering. Do you want your side to become like the side you hate? You have people in the Democratic Party base, the festering pustulence spreading among Democratic Party voters who have decided that it's okay to kill people with whom you disagree politically. If you hate them enough, you can kill them. That's not nitpicking that I'm doing. These are ordinary American citizens who feel comfortable in their hate for Charlie Kirk, saying he got what he deserved. If you don't understand that one of the things that has always set the United States apart is that we allow each other to have heated exchanges and we don't kill each other because of them. It's one of the things that sets us apart from a lot of other countries. You're contributing to the crack up of the country. And there are a lot of people on the left and the right who've decided they want to go their separate ways. The only way we get out of this is a lot of blood and fighting, which I don't want. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I had Trump supporters show up at my house to threaten me and my family. My son, when he was 8 years old, got beat up on a playground by kids because their parents hated me for not supporting Donald Trump. My daughter, when she was 11, the kids in her class prepared a suicide guide for her so that she could commit suicide, thinking if she did, maybe I would see the error of my ways and support the president. I know what right-wing hate can be. But I know what left-wing hate can be as well, because I've had left-wing activists show up in my driveway. I've had people put pornography in my mailbox. I've had people throw sex toys on my lawn. I've had people send me death threats from the left. I get it all the time. I see it from both sides. But you know what? I'm mindful enough to know that in my position, I can talk to my side and police my side. The left thinks they can go on CNN and police the right and say, well, the right's been doing this. No, the left is the one firing the guns right now. You never wanted to account for Floyd Lee Corkins. You never wanted to account for James Hodgkinson. You never wanted to account for the guy who murdered the Israeli embassy employees. You never wanted to account for the trans activists in Nashville. You never wanted to account for the trans activists in Minnesota. Now will you account for the murder of Charlie Kirk? Blood is not on your hands unless you make the choice for it to be there, and you make the choice for it to be there by not being brave enough to stand up to your own side that has gone violent and say, guys, forget the other side. Let's not be like what we think they are. But people on the left would rather go on CNN and say, but Trump, but Trump, but Trump. You will see what comes of that if you continue down that path. Because what comes down that path is not good. It is the ballot rather than the bullet which should determine America's destiny. Today we are at a turning point. Do we decide to continue on the course that chooses the ballot, or do we decide to choose the bullet? The choice is with the American people and the leaders of our age and how they guide us. And frankly, I don't know that I'm optimistic, but I'm optimistic in you that you hearing my voice, you will choose the right path, the path that doesn't lead to disintegration and violence, the path that leads to more discussion, not less, the path that leads to a better tomorrow, not a worse one. But it is your choice, each of us.
Have something to say? Hello. Call the show. 1-877-97-ERIC. That's 1-877-973-7425.
1222, Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still sounding the travel advisory into DeKalb. They're trying to clean up this crash. 20 westbound past Panola Road, exit 71. That's been in 2 left lanes. Slow from Turner Hill Road. Use Covington Highway. Then slow both ways in Kennesaw. Right lane construction, 75 south before Barrett and 75 north past Wade Green. Traffic brought to you by Active Pest Control. Enjoy a pest-free home with Active Pest Control's Pest-Free 365 service. For your free, no-obligation quote, call or visit ActivePestControl.com today. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Okay, friends, it's the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your noon keyword is ring, R-I-N-G, ring. Enter the keyword ring into the WSB Radio app or at WSBRadio.com/cash. You have until 12:30 p.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is ring, R-I-N-G. Don't forget, if you get a call after 12:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Good luck.
This is Scott Slade, updating my health story. I get a checkup every year, and last September, my primary care physician was troubled by a suspicious number on my lab work. Well, that led to a diagnosis early enough to give me options, and I'm more optimistic than ever about a good outcome. Now, when we're talking about our health, level with your providers if you think you have a problem. We all need expert eyes looking us over every so often. That's where virtual imaging can be invaluable. Virtual Imaging's LDCT body scan can give you time and options for early treatment, especially for cancer. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. For a limited time, Virtual Imaging is extending their core body scan offer for only $995 per scan. That's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response, they've opened up more times in both offices. But appointments will fill up fast for this offer, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. That's virtualimagingatl.com. Do it now, while you still have options.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company.
As Director of Diamond Sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond is worthy of a Shane Company engagement ring. Our team travels the world to see diamonds in person and handpick each one. That type of dedication only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. No matter your budget, your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Do you hear scratching, scampering, and stirring noises in your attic? Guess what? You have squirrels up there, and they're not leaving without a fight. But Breda Pest Management will battle those squirrels, guaranteed. Dave Baker here. When someone seals a squirrel's entry point in your attic, do you think the squirrel gives up? Well, they don't. They will chew their way back in. You got squirrels upstairs? You need the Breda Wildlife Guarantee. Only Breda covers every entry point, old and new. The other companies only guarantee the entry point they seal, so each time a squirrel chews a new hole, and they will, it'll cost you hundreds of dollars more. But under the Breda Wildlife Guarantee, you stay protected at no additional cost. A trained wildlife expert will dispose of their nesting, disinfect and sanitize, and if a squirrel finds its way back in, Breda's got your back. Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
The Scott Antique Markets is back at the Atlanta Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. We're on both sides of I-285 exit 55 on Jonesboro Road. Visit ScottAntiqueMarket.com for more information.
This is Andy Harris, President at Coosa Valley Credit Union, where we believe in the power of human connection. When you call us, you're not greeted by a machine, but by a real person who's here to listen and assist you. Coosa Valley Credit Union. We're local, we're kind, and we're here for you.
Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it squeaking and whining for attention? Overhead Door Company of Atlanta is here with same-day repair service. Experienced technicians have been servicing homeowners in Atlanta since 1935. That's 90 years. Overhead Door Company of Atlanta can handle all your garage door and opener needs. For same-day repair service, schedule online at overheaddooratlanta.com or call 404-USA-DOOR.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB.
Want to be on the show? Come on, be on the show. Call Eric now at 877-973-7425.
It is Eric Erickson here. The phone number is 877-973-7425 should you wish to be on the program. Although I'm going to be a little bit slow to take calls right now. One thing I want you to know is the gun that was used in the attack, the assassination, was a single-shot bolt-action rifle. Elizabeth Warren, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and others, in addition to trying to both sides this and blame Donald Trump, called for gun control. The rifle that was used to kill Charlie Kirk is exactly the sort of rifle that the left says we should be using in this country. Instead of magazines, ones that have magazines, ones that can fire off multiple rounds. This is exactly the sort of gun that the left says should be the only acceptable rifle to have, and it was used to assassinate someone yesterday. Gun control is not the answer here. Dealing with the festering violence on the left is. Swiss America has been warning people about a secret war on cash. They would like to give you their free report, The Secret War on Cash. You can call or text them at 800-289-2646. All you have to do is send them my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K. 800-289-2646 is the phone number. You can just text my name to it. They'll send you a link you can follow. The report takes less than 15 minutes to read. It can save your retirement and finances. So get the Secret War on Cash report completely free. All you do, again, mention Eric Erickson when you call or text 800-289-2646. You can also go to SwissAmerica.com/Eric. That's SwissAmerica.com/ERICK. SwissAmerica.com/Eric, or text my name, Eric, E-R-I-C-K, to 800-289-2646. Get this report completely free from Swiss America. Message and data rates may apply. We will be back with how we should respond to the death of Charlie Kirk.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
had no ties to a gang.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News.
Weather.
Traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 12:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Jim Ellis Automotive. This just in, the FBI has now released images of a person of interest in the assassination of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. President Trump paying tribute to Kirk today as he attended the 9/11 ceremony at the Pentagon. Speaking to reporters outside the Pentagon, the president said he hopes police will arrest someone very soon.
They have a virtual manhunt out there, so we'll see what happens. We hope we get him.
Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to college students in Utah yesterday. Again, the FBI now releasing images of a person of interest. We've posted them for you to see at WSBradio.com. A mix of sun and clouds today, a little bit warmer. Highs around 87, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Well, they're now headed home. A plane carrying over 300 South Koreans has left Atlanta. They were detained during an immigration raid on a battery factory in South Georgia last week. Their flight expected to arrive back in South Korea Friday afternoon. This is new this half hour. A warning about West Nile virus infections. The Atlanta-based CDC saying cases are about 40% higher than normal for this time of the year. The agency also saying deaths are on track to be higher this year. Health officials are ramping up warnings now to the public because most cases of this mosquito-borne disease are reported in August and September. And now, your money. We are seeing the highest inflation since January. Jim Ryan has a look at the latest consumer price index.
The CPI for August shows inflation rising 0.4% from July and 2.9% from August of last year. The biggest driver of the increase, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, was the cost of shelter. But prices rose last month for new and used vehicles, clothing, and airfares as well.
And as we take a look at the markets, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P are all in positive territory. It's 12:32.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry, and their soft washing kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $70 off your next service. WiseGuysProWash.com.
All right, Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
Better news, that crash into cabs cleared I-20 westbound before Wesley Chapel Road exit 68. Still slow through Lithonia, but it'll get better. And we just found a stalled box truck in the right lane on the west side, 20 eastbound at Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through this afternoon, high 87.
81 degrees in Holly Springs. It's 82 in Marietta. Here in Midtown Atlanta, some sunshine and 80 degrees. More news at 1 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I have to admit I was surprised that MSNBC parted ways with Matthew Dowd yesterday. He was the Republican turned Democrat who was pretty bitter. Didn't ever add much to the conversation yesterday as this was happening. Suggested first that maybe Charlie Kirk was shot by one of his supporters celebrating him being there, and then essentially said he got what he deserved, that he brought it upon himself. That seems to be a common sentiment among some on the left. This is Mika Brzezinski.
That holds, and also from leadership of this network. Somebody came on, Matthew Dowd yesterday came on and made a wild speculation that was obviously wrong and extraordinarily hurtful to many people. And Rebecca Cutler said so last night, came out and condemned his words in the strongest terms. So we're glad that she did that. This obviously, though, and we're going to be getting into just what he did, so those who don't understand the extraordinary impact Charlie Kirk has had on American politics will have a better understanding that this guy that was a podcaster for 2 hours a day, that's a job in and of itself. He ran organizations all over college campuses, the best organized person Democrats would have loved to have. For their version of Charlie Kirk, a fundraising operation, Jonathan, where raised well over $100 million, and used so much of that to get out the vote. He organized it for the 6 swing states, and again, as Donald Trump told me last night and has told other people, was the difference maker in some of those states.
Yeah, he was. Put a lot of points on the board for the right. And MSNBC parted ways with Matthew Dowd for his statements last night. I was actually surprised that they did. Credit where credit's due. They should have. This is Scott Jennings talking on CNN last night.
Now, Charlie and I work together. He's on the Salem radio network. He has the radio show that's on from noon to 2 each day. I'm on from 2 to 3, so I had just come on to do my show, and about halfway through it, we got the news that Charlie had been shot. And so I had to talk through it this afternoon. And I'll be honest with you, I am in utter disbelief at this. I sat in this room last summer, the night they shot the president, and now they shot Charlie. And I'm not sure it's safe to be an outspoken conservative walking around in America right now. And there's a lot of people out there who are in absolute shock and are horrified by this. And I don't know what's going to happen other than to tell you that this nation is in desperate need of prayer and some kind of an intervention.
I'm a Calvinist at heart. My son yesterday afternoon asked if I was going to be okay. I said fine, and I'll be fine. And he said, I'm the one thing about being Presbyterian is God's got this until He doesn't, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there's no reason to worry. I thought, well, that's profound wisdom from a 16-year-old. I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying, I hope you're safe and have security and stuff. I did not live in the world that Charlie Kirk lived in, was not at the level of politics that he was, traveling all over the country to massive events and notoriety and being known. I've had my share of run-ins with people, but I will tell you, it's, and I agree with the friends of mine who made this point today, that it's the transgender activists in the country who have gotten to be the most violent. I get threats all the time. Nothing that I take real seriously, except, boy, the trans community they're crazy and violent. And it appears, based on the casings, that this played a role in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And it was an assassination. It wasn't just a shooting. It wasn't a killing. It was an assassination. Someone targeted him for his views and beliefs. So how do you respond? There are people who want to, they want revenge. They want payback. I want to read you a quote. It's a very good quote. Quote was given last week by Charlie Kirk. You have to try to point them, that is, people on college campuses, the left, towards ultimate purposes and towards getting back to the church, getting back to faith, getting married, having children. I'm trying to paint a picture of virtue, of lifting people up, not just staying angry. Scripture, Paul writing to the Ephesians, says, be angry, yet do not sin. Be angry, yet do not sin. A lot of people think that it's a sin to be angry, and I try to tell people all the time that actually, no, anger is an emotion. God gets angry. You're allowed to get angry. The question is, what do you do with that anger afterwards? That's the question. Be angry, yet do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. Let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you are sealed for the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. Be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. And there will be those who say, well, that applies to the church. That just applies to people within the church. Be angry and do not sin applies to all people of faith, regardless of directed towards people in and out of the church. But what do you do? You know, Charlie Kirk went to college campuses and organized them. And he built up a massive army of support. I don't know who will replace him. But whether you lead the movement or not, it shouldn't stop you from trying. I mean, if you want revenge on the left, revenge doesn't come from bullets. If you do to the left what they've done to us, you become them. What you do instead is you mobilize, you organize, you get engaged, you call people. As Charlie did, call people to Christ. You get them involved in the process. You give them hope. You harness their anger to political action. What the left is doing right now is they're embracing a festering anger, and they're just trying to keep people angry. They're trying to keep people constantly angry. And they hope what they can do is they can harness that anger and get those people to show up at the polls next November. But the anger is getting away from them. The anger is getting away from them. There is violence that is more and more coming out of the anger as they try, on the left-wing politicians, the Democrats try to keep people angry, try to keep people fired up. In doing that, they're starting to see spillover effects that they can't control. And in being unable to control them, it eventually will eat them too. The fire will consume them. You don't fight fire with fire. That's what Chris Murphy said, and look, someone did. I again note the silence of Chris Murphy right now, and no Democrats saying this is unacceptable language. They're willing to say what Trump says is unacceptable language, but what about Chris Murphy? Or they're willing to say, well, you know, Charlie Kirk said things that fired people up, but none of those people went out and gunned anyone down. Let me read you what I wrote on social media. In fact, some people got mad at me, and I'm not surprised by the misinterpretation. But I should explain it further because I think it's very important you understand my point. Because I see a lot of people trying to gin up a great deal of anger and rage. What I wrote was this: I'm seeing people on the right, many of them professing Christians, pronounce you don't hate them enough. It seems to me that's what got us to the point. Many of them do hate us. Some of my right-wing friends on here are not Christians and have for a long time insisted we need to embrace the methods of the left. Some of my Christian friends have agreed, but Christianity conquered the world by being the opposite of worldly hate, and I don't think now's a good time to give that up. People on the left often tell us we cannot love the sinner without also loving their sin. Now some in the church are claiming we need to hate both the sin and the sinner. Being a light in an increasingly dark world and drawing others to us will be more effective than reciprocating. Just last week, Charlie Kirk gave this interview and said you have to try to point them towards ultimate purposes. I'm trying to paint a picture of virtue, lifting people up, not just staying angry. Beat the left by seeking the welfare of the community in which you live. Get married, have children, pray for your community. There you'll find your welfare. The world says to seek retribution. Faith says to let Christ take care of retribution. You love God and your neighbor. This problem we face is bigger than you. It's not bigger than God, so be wary of those who call you away from our better angels. That's what evil wants. And people are like, oh, you're calling for pacifism. You don't want a response at all. I said, no, it's a call for Christians to engage as Christians, not resort to violence and revenge. Gunning down the other side might feel good right now, but it is not good. It is evil, and you do not want to become the other side. So engage in debate. Go show up on college campuses. Continue Charlie's work. Fight for law and order. Fight for justice. Those are good things. Fight to get the bad guys out of society and into prison. I'm not saying don't fight, but you don't fight the same way the left is fighting. You don't fight the same way these crazy vigilantes fight. You fight in good ways, productive ways. We have a choice right now as a society, ballots or bullets. What's your choice? And some of you are saying, well, I got lots of guns. You know what? A lot of those people do too. The person who killed Charlie Kirk did. And then what good does it give you? You die, they die. What do you have left? Blood. Stand up to them. Do not live in fear. Above all else, don't live in fear. Charlie said a few weeks ago he didn't live in fear. He had body, but he was also soul. So are you. You want revenge? Revenge is not going out and gunning down someone. It's beating them at the ballot box. It's beating them in the debate. It's changing hearts and minds. The person who did this appears to have been pushing transgender activism and anti-fascism. Elevate the issue of mental health within the trans community. Get more people to acknowledge that it's actually a mental health issue. It's a mental illness. You should, because it is. That's not gunning them down. That's making people aware that these people are suffering a mental illness. And they should be treated with care and caution. Get people involved in the process. Have you registered your friends to go vote? Have you got high school kids who are turning 18? Have you gotten them registered to vote yet? Have you gotten them in the process? Honor Charlie Kirk's legacy by doing that. You don't fight the left by fighting like the left. You fight in ways that beat the left. And also you love your neighbor, and that's not easy. I find it wild that people, common suburban people on their LinkedIn accounts are willing to go say, Charlie Kirk brought this on himself. No American should believe that any American brings death on themselves for having a political position. No one does. Y'all, these aren't easy times. I'm really tired about talking about all the people getting killed, whether it was the kids in Minneapolis or Charlie Kirk. These are not easy times. But what I know for certain, from the bottom of my heart, is you don't just do Charlie Kirk a disservice by engaging in violence against the left. You also become the left when you do it. And his legacy is about beating the left, not becoming the left. Don't become the left. And those of you on the left who are screaming both sides, you people on the right are take care of your own house for once. Stop lecturing me. I know my side has problems. They've shown up on my doorstep to threaten me. I know my side has problems. And I talk to my side about those problems. But none of you people want to talk to your side about those problems. So talk to Chris Murphy and suggest to him maybe he shouldn't say we're at war and you've got to do things that you otherwise wouldn't do. Maybe you should talk to J.B. Pritzker and say it's not really about Trump today or Elizabeth Warren. And maybe you should call on those people who are Democrats who are comfortable getting on social media and expressing their contempt for another American being gunned down, that that's not the way we do things in this country. And if you consider yourself an American, that's not what you should do. Maybe take care of your own house and put it in order. We are at a turning point. Ballots or bullets? My vote is for ballots. We'll all last longer and be better off. On the left, y'all got to embrace some humility here and start having conversations internally on your own side instead of going on TV and making it a both sides matter, because it is not a both sides matter right now. It is not. This is your side festering. You've got to clean it up for the sake of the whole country. The whole country needs you on the left, needs the Barack Obamas of the world to go out and tell the left, the man who said take a gun to a knife fight should now go out there and say, I didn't really mean it.
Honest.
Putting your trust in me to tell you what's going on.
Transparent.
I need you to know this from the bottom of my heart.
Giving you the information without the noise.
My job isn't to tell you what you want to hear, it's to tell you the truth.
It's the Erick Erickson Show.
1251 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Slow on the West Freeway out of Lithia Springs, 20 eastbound from Thornton Road over to Fulton Industrial Boulevard, exit 49, where it looks like they just got this stalled box truck from the right lane to the right shoulder, so lanes are opening back up there. Jammed up both ways in Kennesaw and Ackworth with construction, 75 north and southbound. Southbound, it's right lane before Barrett Parkway. Northbound, right lane past Wade Green. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Restock your pantry at Whole Foods Market. Get 30% off Simple Meals, crackers, cookies, bars, and baking mixes with Prime through September 16th. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 2 p.m.
I am so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Your non-stop news source. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
This is from the Wall Street Journal. The shooter is still at large. Authorities believe the shooting suspect is of college age, but caution, the investigation is in its early stages. A high-powered rifle, including ammunition engraved with transgender and anti-fascist ideology, was recovered in a wooded area where the suspected shooter fled. Authorities say it's unclear how far the shooter may have traveled overnight. What is so very interesting to me is I want to read for you that CNN and how they decided to report on what happened with the ammunition, that it was Fed officials' probe rifle and ammo scrawled with cultural phrases. Wall Street Journal said it was transgender and anti-fascist ideology carved on it. Just cultural phrases at CNN. You see what they're doing. You see what they're doing. They're covering for the killer. That's what they're doing. Y'all, I got to tell you about Vision Computers. There's just no way to do transitions on a day like this, and I got to do the ads, so let me tell you about Vision. If you're in managed IT care right now, or you've got Windows 10, you know, Microsoft is going to stop supporting Windows 10 here with security patches October 14th, my anniversary date. No more security patches. You need to upgrade your machine. If you're not sure how, Vision can take care of you. Call them at 404-COMPUTER. Go to visioncomputers.com. If you got managed IT services for your company, your employees can have greater uptime, less downtime, and be more engaged if you call Vision, because they actually will have a phone number to call and get somebody right on the phone instead of having to do email tickets. Call them at 404-COMPUTER. Go to visioncomputers.com. What do you have to lose? They can save you some money, and they can make your business more productive by keeping you up far more than other managed IT services. 404-COMPUTE or visioncomputers.com. Give Vision Computers a call today. Tell them I sent you. My name might save you even some more money.
You can count on it.
You can try and plan for it.
But sometimes it gets the best of you.
Installed Big Rig 275 southbound the outer loop at 166.
When it stops you from getting where you need to be.
Atlanta's most trusted traffic team gets you there.
Are you slow just east of Georgia 400?
Atlanta's most up-to-date traffic reports from local and trustworthy people.
Every time you listen. Triple Team Traffic.
95.5 WSB. How Atlanta gets there.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys. The exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. The FBI has now released images of the suspect wanted in connection to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're calling this person a person of interest. We have posted the images for you to see, WSBradio.com. And this, as a manhunt intensifies this afternoon. Alex Stone has more on the investigation. Authorities have used, say they have the gun that was used in the killing.
The murder weapon was a high-powered bolt-action rifle, according to investigators who say they found the gun discarded in the woods nearby the shooting. FBI Special Agent in charge Robert Bowles says they have clear video of the shooter and are using technology to identify the person, and they have other evidence.
Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
He says the shooter appears to have blended in on campus and appears college-aged.
And new this afternoon, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer talking today on the floor of the Senate. He said this about the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Political violence is the enemy of democracy, and we have an obligation on all sides to fight it at every turn. We must condemn it whenever it arises, wherever it arises, including this heinous murder of Charlie Kirk.
And again, FBI releasing images of a person of interest. The images show a slender white man who is wearing a backpack with a black hat, shirt, and dark sunglasses. Kirk died after being shot in the neck while speaking at an outdoor Turning Point event at Utah Valley University yesterday. Your weather for today, a mix of sun and clouds. A little warmer today. Afternoon highs around 87, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. This is new here at 1 o'clock. Threats have been made today to Clark Atlanta University, and that has prompted a shelter-in-place order at Spelman College. This is just a precaution. You know, there have been numerous bogus threats at colleges and universities in the past few weeks. Update on the nearly 300 South Koreans who were detained last week in South Georgia at a battery factory. They are now on a plane headed back to South Korea. The plane took off from Hartsfield-Jackson International just before noon, and it's scheduled to arrive in South Korea Friday afternoon. Fulton County will now collect property taxes for residents in Palmetto and Union City. The change will put city taxes on county bills. This means that bills will be issued and taxes are payable to the Fulton County Tax Commissioner. Residents of Palmetto who live in Coweta County will not be impacted by this. Fulton County usually sends out tax bills earlier than cities, so residents can expect to receive the city portion of their property tax bills sooner than in previous years. It's 102.
Got Joro spiders? You need Breda Pest Management. Dave Baker here. These nasty black and yellow spiders weave huge webs, multiply quickly, and lay hundreds of eggs at a time. So if you see one, it won't be long before you're overrun with massive webs. Just knocking down their web does not solve your problem. You need Breda to locate and destroy the source. BREDA Pest.com.
Breda. No need to be afraid of bugs.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
If you've been taught that all bread is unhealthy, I'm here to tell you not if it's real bread. Hi, I'm Sue Becker from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. If you're struggling with weight gain, high cholesterol, constipation, even warts, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, come visit us at the Bread Becker store in Woodstock, where we have taught thousands of customers that real bread might be their healthy solution. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of real whole grains and bread. I discovered that store-bought bread has had most of the nutrients in the grain removed during milling, and yes, even packages labeled 100% whole wheat. Make a healthy eating change in your life at Bread Becker's in Woodstock. We'll show you how bread, but only real bread, might be the answer to your family's physical ills. The Bread Beckers. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
If your basement has any issues like condensation, wet floors and walls, or musty smells, that can be a sign that your home might be due for waterproofing. AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can help. Just visit aquaguard.net and set up a free inspection. Remember, AquaGuard.
All right, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Still watching the brake lights through Ackworth and Kennesaw on 75 southbound. We had the right lane construction before Barrett Parkway exit 269. Then in the backup up around Chastain Road, they just moved a crash from the left lane to the right shoulder. Thanks to traffic trooper Courtney for pointing that out. And 75 northbound, there's also right lane construction around Wade Green Road. So just jammed up both ways on 75 between the 575 area and Highway 92 in Ackworth. And still slow into DeKalb County, I-20 westbound through the work zone, leaving them all at Stonecrest passing Wesley Chapel Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hotter today with a high of 87, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 90. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
It is 81 degrees right now in Alpharetta, 80 in Decula here in Midtown Atlanta, a little sunshine and 81 degrees. We'll have more news at 1:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
My fellow Americans, it is Eric Erickson here this sad day, and it is for a lot of reasons. We haven't even talked about 9/11 yet. We will. The phone number is 877-973-7425 should you wish to be on the program. You know, there was a report at the Christian Post a while back, assassination culture. Half of left-leaning Americans say assassinating Trump and Musk is justified. I want to get there. First, I want to talk to you about Nate Burleson. Nate Burleson is an anchor on CBS morning program, and he had on Republicans. I want to play you this clip. The beginning of this clip is so necessary for you to hear.
And as Tony mentioned, not everyone took to his words or his rhetoric. You know, at times they were offensive to specific communities. But with that said, this is not the time to focus on that. We are focused on this tragedy.
You got that? He couldn't start with anything other. You know, he said a lot of stuff that offended some communities. Yeah, a lot of people do, including Nate Burleson, who just offended me. You don't have to go there. It's your choice. And it's the choice that I'm seeing a lot of people on the left make of, oh, I disagreed with everything he said, but let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this instead. The quiet little virtue signal of left-wing anchors. And let's just listen to him go on.
Reflect on political violence. Is it a moment for us to think about the responsibility of our political leaders and their voices and what it does to the masses as they get lost in misinformation or disinformation that turns in and spills into political violence?
I say both parties. You know, I don't even say parties. I say a nation. Okay. And if there's a moment in time we want to look to, and I looked back and I watched this again when Robert F. Kennedy is running and he's in Indianapolis and he just got the news that Martin Luther King was killed.
And he goes on to say what Robert Kennedy said. Y'all, Nate Burleson wants to both sides, and that was his response to both sides. This isn't a both sides thing. So half of left-leaning Americans were polled assassinating Trump and Musk would be justified. Half of left-leaning Americans believe assassinating Donald Trump or Elon Musk would be justified. You know, 20% of Donald Trump's voters in November of 2024 said it was worth breaking off relations with people who voted for Kamala Harris. 60% of Kamala Harris voters said it was worth breaking off relationships with people who voted for Donald Trump. 60 to 20. When Americans on the left are polled, when all Americans are polled, rather, Americans on the left say they're the ones most likely to suffer from not mental illness, but mental issues. They're the ones most likely to have therapy. They're the most likely to feel despair. They're the most likely to be overwhelmed. This isn't a problem on the right. There are isolated instances on the right, but you got half of left-leaning Americans think assassinating Trump and Musk would be justified. You've got 60% of Kamala Harris voters thinking it is okay to end relationships with people who voted for Donald Trump. There are conservatives more likely to know people on the left than people on the left are to know people on the right. Progressives live in an isolated bubble where Nate Burleson of CBS News can say things like he said, and it's acceptable discourse on the left. See, within the circle of the left, it's totally fine and acceptable to go on social media and say, well, screw that guy, he got what he deserved. There's a problem with the left right now. And the greater problem with the left is that the politicians on the left don't want to acknowledge the problem because they're afraid the left will turn on them. This is Dan Goldman on CNN overnight. Listen to this conversation.
This is already a breakdown of our democracy. I think Congressman Kinzinger said it right. But our entire system of government will break down, and you will have certainly nobody who wants to do this job. It's already ill-advised for many, given the vitriol, the discourse that you see. But when violence gets involved, then it's just a totally different animal. And I hope these far-right podcasters come to their senses and recognize that this is not war. We are Americans at bottom.
You hear that? Dan Goldman, a member of Congress, says, I hope these far-right podcasters realize we're not at war. Here again, this is Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, with Chuck Todd.
We're not going to convince Donald Trump to stand down in his attempts to destroy our democracy through de-escalatory politics. Like, that's just not happening. So our only opportunity, our only chance to save our democracy is to fight fire with fire right now. So, yeah, do I bemoan the fact that, we're now blowing up norms? Yes, but literally for 2 seconds, because if you spend any more than that being sorry for the fact that the old world doesn't exist, then your democracy is gone. Like, we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
When I hear that, I wonder is there enough people that believe that same thing? And until you get more to believe that may be why the Democrats aren't rowing in the same direction yet.
You can't get people to believe it if you don't act like it.
Olivia Ringgold is a staff writer at the Free Press. She used to work for Politico and Columbia Journalism Review. Let me read you this tweet. Just yesterday, my oldest friend broke up with me. A different one. I'm now down to 3 or 4 friends from before 2022 when I shocked my liberal circle by joining the Free Press. It wasn't lost on me that this happened within hours of the news of Charlie Kirk's murder. If there was ever a time for coming together, it was now. Yet here she was telling me that she didn't want to associate with me anymore because of who I am. When we discussed certain issues like Israel, she realized we actually weren't that far apart. We both believe in a 2-state solution and want the war to end, and yet she couldn't knock her overwhelming suspicion that I was bad. She said it was kindly as possible, but uninvited me from her wedding. There's something wrong in the country. What happened yesterday is not an aberration. It is who we are becoming. We are a nation that celebrated Luigi Mangione, Biden's cancer diagnosis, and now the murder of Charlie Kirk. If we keep heading down this road, we won't need enemies abroad. We'll destroy ourselves from within. I got to tell you, I actually lose friends on the right and listeners as well for saying I have friends on the left. But I have more and more people on the left than on the right who just simply cannot be friends. The number of people since I got into conservative talk radio who just simply said, nope. We used to live in a house, small starter home built in the early 1950s. Had a neighbor across the street from us. His name was Pete. We watched their house when they were out of town. They watched ours. Their dog got out. I helped wrestle the dog in. They sent baby gifts. They never really knew what I did for a living. I was a lawyer at first and then transitioned out to running Red State and being on TV. At some point, Keith Olbermann named me the worst person in the world on his MSNBC show at the time. The relationship immediately changed to the effect that Pete, if I was in the front yard with my daughter, at the time would have been 3 or 4 years old, he would heckle us in the yard. He went out of his way to be obnoxious and divisive and hateful just simply because he didn't like my politics. He had been a perfectly fine neighbor until the moment he realized who I was, because Keith Olbermann decided I was the worst person in the world. It was remarkable to watch the switch flip. And yep, he didn't know Jesus. I'm not in a very preachy mood because I actually am kind of angry about what's happened in the last 24 hours. But I will tell you, there is a night and day difference between people who have a right relationship with God and people who don't. Charlie Kirk actually had a right relationship with God. I have no doubt. I'm kind of excited for Charlie in the sense of he's run the race, he's crossed the finish line, he's made it over to his eternal home. He actually gets to touch the face of the Lord today, and we still have to wait. Mourn for his family, but for him, he's home. And I think about those people who don't think about their home, their eternity. They live for the here and now, and what happens can enrich them. And that's part of what's going on here is people don't have hope. It's one of the things Charlie's talked about in the past is giving people hope. I mean, the entirety of left-wing ideology right now is devoid of hope. The world is going to end. We're all going to burn. The hurricanes are going to get us. The tornadoes are going to get us. The Chinese and the Russians are going to get us. Trump's going to get us. Everything is bad. Everything is horrible. You can understand these people are being driven to despair, and there is a lot of despair to which people are being driven. They have no hope. When I interviewed Tim Keller before he passed away, you know, the New Testament talks a lot about hope. We have hope. You know what the hope is? It's actually a terrible, terrible translation. The hope talked about in Hebrews, the hope that Christians have, it's the profound certainty. We don't hope like we hope we got the winning lottery ticket. No, the hope is a profound certainty that the resurrection is true. And when you have that hope, everything else kind of gets put in order. And even the churches on the left these days, they don't have that hope. Their hope is building a heaven on earth. You're not going to get a heaven on earth because we're all sinners. We all fall short. And the left doesn't have hope. And so how do they manifest their lack of hope? Well, they isolate themselves from anyone who disagrees. They break up with friends. They turn to despair and anger when they lose power. They can't accommodate a world in which they're not in charge of it and don't control it. It's a profound certainty that I have, that Charlie had. that he has even more today that these people don't have. And as a result, their lack of hope has turned to anger. And it is my hope that politicians on the Democratic side will, in fact, turn the corner and realize they've got to minister to their own side. It doesn't work for them to lecture Donald Trump and the GOP. They have no power over Donald Trump and the GOP. They've got to tell the people on the left, you can't resort to bullets against those you dislike. 60% of Harris voters believe that it is justifiable to break off relationships with people who didn't vote for Harris. Half of progressives in this country believe assassinating Donald Trump and Elon Musk are good things. That's a serious mental issue. And it would behoove Barack Obama and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and the other Democrats to stop trying to blame Donald Trump and stop trying to say both sides and instead tell the left, you can't settle your differences with bullets. How hard is it? The fact that none of them seem to be capable of doing it suggests they got real problems bigger than even you and I talk about on their side, that they can't do it.
Those who love him, listen to find out what he's going to say next. Those who disagree with him, also listen to see what he's going to say next. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
121 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Still watching the brake lights in both directions between Ackworth and Kennesaw and I-75. It's due to right lane construction both ways. Southbound, you got it in the right lane before Barrett Parkway. Northbound, it's in the right lane north of Wade Green Road, so you're slow there. And just found a right lane construction zone out of Lawrenceville, 316 westbound passing Sugarloaf Parkway, causing some delays to I-85. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Now at Whole Foods Market, get 20% off air-chilled, boneless, skinless chicken breast with Prime through September 16th. As always, there are no antibiotics ever while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
All right, thank you.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my word!
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 2 p.m.
I actually enjoy shopping with businesses that have been in business for a very long time. It's meaningful. When do you do that? When do you shop with a company that's been around over 100 years? If you go to omahasteaks.com today, you'll be shopping with a company that's over 100 years in existence. It's fantastic. And man, the steaks are butcher cut. They're not machine cut. That's something I actually didn't know when I started shopping at Omaha Steaks years ago. Like if I get a New York strip from Omaha Steaks, it's going to be butcher cut. And they're great butchers. And they make caramel apple tartlets that my wife loves. They make the New York strips that I love. They're chicken breasts. You know, we're trying to eat more protein and be healthy, and they're small. They're individually wrapped. They're not those giant, tough. They're portioned sizes that you want. Right now, you can get 50% off site-wide at the Red Hot Sale event at omahasteaks.com. You get an extra $35 off using promo code ERICK, E-R-I-C-K, at checkout. See site for details. 50% off site-wide, omahasteaks.com.
With our weather extremes, I wanted windows that would stand the test of time. Hi, it's meteorologist Glenn Burns, and I found them. I love my Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows from North Georgia Replacement Windows. I was blown away. They're energy efficient and incredibly durable. 8 times stronger than vinyl, so they last. Experience the fiberglass difference in your home or in their new Alpharetta showroom.
Infinity from Marvin Replacement Windows, yeah!
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
The most successful Metro Atlanta home builders and contractors all share a special secret. Randall Brothers is the preferred building partner trusted by pros, delivering expert guidance, quality materials, and accurate delivery. Randall Brothers will keep your project on time and on budget while providing the widest selection of materials in the city. Dave Baker here for Randall Brothers. Widest selection, industry expertise, accurate, no-hassle deliveries. RandallBrothers.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're a different kind of wireless company dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Because let's face it, our needs are different. Big wireless unlimited plans are designed for 20-somethings, not us. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on one thing, bringing you affordable, reliable rate plans that suit your needs, not ours. How do we do that? We start by using the same towers as the big guys, the exact same towers. We then create rate plans designed for your usage. The fact is, we can offer you an unlimited plan with the same network quality for less because we understand how you use wireless services. Our plans start at just $20 a month. And forget trying to chat with robots. You'll get 100% US-based award-winning customer service when you need help. Come find out how wireless should be and join the millions who've made the switch.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Just joined us? No worries. Check out the Eric Erickson Show 24/7 stream at ericerickson.com. Available for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Greetings. It is Eric Erickson here. Let me give you two headlines. Charlie Kirk, right-wing force and a close Trump ally, dies at 31. Here's another one. Manhunt for suspect in political assassination rattles Minnesota. When the left dies, in the New York Times, they're political assassinations. When the right dies, they just die. The incredible juxtaposition between how the media treats people on the right and people on the left. They just can't help themselves. Listen, I've talked a long time today because I had a lot of stuff I just needed to get out. And there are people who have been waiting on the phones for quite a while. I want to take your phone calls from across the country when we come back. This is a short segment, and I want to have justice with your phone calls. I'm sorry for making you guys wait, but a lot of stuff that has needed to be said and needed to get it off my chest before I pivot to your phone calls. So the phone number is 877-973-7425. If you want to follow along with the show notes, and at 8:46 a.m. this morning, which is the time the first plane hit the World Trade Center, I sent out an email, and all it is the list of the names of all the Americans killed on 9/11. If you text Eric to 33777, it's the very first link. And you can get the show notes and the live stream and the podcast and follow me on social media. There's a lot there today. And I apologize to those of you who get overwhelmed with the emails that you're getting probably more than normal today and yesterday, but kind of necessary. Old Glory Bank is my bank. They're headquartered in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and they would love to have your business. They are a bank by conservatives. They are a bank for conservatives. They do business accounts. They've got great business management. They do car loans, home loans, CDs, business loans, business development. They're a regular bank. What sets them apart is that conservatives started them, so you as a conservative don't have to worry about the debanking trends that have happened with a number of banks around the country. And they got your back. They support you. They support veterans. In fact, if you're a veteran or a first responder, they have great deals on checking and savings accounts. I've got a no-fee checking and a no-fee savings account. They have accounts that generate interest, among other things. You go to oldglorybank.com/Eric, oldglorybank.com/ERICK. Sign up with oldglorybank.com today. Get your checking account, get your savings account. Start doing business with them. They're good people out in Oklahoma. oldglorybank.com/Eric. And they're a member FDIC, equal housing lender. Terms and conditions apply.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 1:30. Good afternoon. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Ben Hill Renovation. The FBI releases images of a person of interest in the assassination of Charlie Kirk during an event at Utah Valley University. Now, Pierre Thomas has more on the photos just released and the investigation.
I'm told by sources it's from surveillance footage in and around the area where the shooting took place. This appears to be a male person wearing sunshades and a baseball cap. The FBI very much wants to talk to that person, and they're asking for the public's help in identifying this person so that they can get access to them and begin to interview them.
And we posted the images for you at WSBRadio.com. We've just gotten word that Charlie Kirk's casket will be flown from Utah to Arizona aboard Air Force Two later today. Your weather, a mix of sun and clouds, warmer, highs around 87 this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. They are headed home. A plane carrying over 300 South Koreans has left Atlanta's airport. They were detained during an immigration raid on a battery factory in South Georgia last week. The 300 on board that flight expected to arrive back in South Korea tomorrow afternoon. A warning about West Nile virus infections. The Atlanta-based CDC says cases are about 40% higher than normal for this time of the year. The agency also saying deaths are on track to be higher this year. Health officials ramping up warnings to the public because most cases of the mosquito-borne disease are reported in August and September. And more Americans are filing for unemployment benefits. The Labor Department says it received 263,000 initial requests in the week ending September 6th. That's up 27,000 from the week before. Most analysts had been expecting today's numbers to come in right at around 235,000. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow's up 583 at 46,074. So the Dow's up more than a full percent. NASDAQ's up more than a half, and so is the S&P. It's 132.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier, the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
This is Andy Harris, president of Coosa Valley Credit Union, inviting you to come see us for your auto loan needs. If you're buying a car or refinancing your current auto loan, at Coosa Valley Credit Union, you'll get one of the lowest interest rates in the market, as low as 3.49 APR when you open an account with a direct deposit. Coosa Valley Credit Union is local and nearby in Northwest Georgia. Plus, you'll always speak to a real person when dealing with us. That's what we call kinder banking.
Contact 706-235-8551 for more details. Equal Opportunity Lender.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
Get a head start on holiday home prep with help from Zerorez. It's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Getting all of those neglected stains out doesn't require chemicals and harsh soaps. No way. ZR Water technology gets your carpets cleaner and lasts longer. Save up to $30. The more rooms you clean, the more you save. Mention WSB to secure this deal or book online at ZerorezAtlanta.com and ask about our Zerorez commercial cleaning too. Zerorez. Spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Alex Williams, how are we doing on the roads?
New trouble in McDonough. It's a crash reported in the center lane, 75 northbound Highway 155, already slowing back toward Locust Grove. And don't forget, Spring Street shut down between 17th and 6th Street with 16th Street with repairs. Use Peachtree as an alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through this afternoon, high 87.
83 degrees in Dunwoody. It's 83 in Holly Springs. And Brookhaven, you have 82 degrees right now. More news at 2 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. 95.5 WSB.
Hello there, it's Eric Erickson here across the nation. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Let's go to the phones. Let's begin with Victor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Victor, sorry to keep you waiting so long. Thank you for being patient.
Sure. I just wanted to call in and offer some encouragement. You know, it's hard to quantify suffering in the body of Christ, especially with the modern day message that's presented to us on a regular basis. But the Bible's pretty descriptive in the level of suffering we as believers that will suffer. And I see the sacrifice that Charlie was willing to make, and I'm sure he counted the cost. And I can only imagine the things that you're confronted with on a daily basis in terms of threats and violence and stuff because of your message. And so we as the church, when we bring forth a message of truth, we are going to be on the receiving end, and that's ordained. Jesus said in John 15 that, know this, they will hate you, but they hated me first. And so we are being given the privilege and the opportunity to enter into the fellowship of the sufferings of Christ. And that's what we're called to. It shouldn't be a surprise when someone, has to even pay with their lives for bringing forth that message. And I just want to encourage him. Charlie has a special crown that he's earned through his sacrifice, and I suffer his loss too, like I'm sure we all do. But I just wanted to encourage him that he's had an impact in this world, and his impact doesn't stop with his death. Yeah. There will be beauty from ashes.
Yeah,
and life.
That's well said.
Out of that,
Victor, thank you for that. Look, I appreciate it. That's very well said. He ran the race and finished, and yeah. Let's go to Jack, Berlin, Connecticut. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was thinking about, as a teenager, watching Richard Nixon's resignation speech, and you can tell how much he felt the hate. And he said in the speech, always remember that others may hate you, but unless you hate them, they don't win. And if you do, then you destroy yourself. And the way he said it, you could feel that he was being crushed down by this overwhelming hate. And that message stuck with me. And it applies today, even though the Marine Corps then was bad, but nothing like now.
Yeah, and you know that it's such a good line because hate is so easy. It really is. It's the easy thing, and it's the thing that social media really plays up. Social media brings out the worst in people, and it's so much easier to hate these days. It's incredibly easy for people to hate. It's hard to love. Love your neighbor. Your neighbor's a jerk, and yet you got to love your neighbor. Hating your neighbor it's so much easier to hate people, particularly people you don't know. It becomes hard to hate people once you know them. It's very interesting that some of the loudest voices condemning what happened to Charlie Kirk are people he has in the past debated and disagreed with, and they came to liking. But it's easy to hate. Blake in Jacksonville, Florida, you're on the show. Welcome to the show, Blake. How are you?
I'm well, Eric, and thank you for the graciousness of allowing me to call in every once in a while. Your comments have been prescient and just very illuminating, and just thank you for that. The reason I'm calling is because in many ways I connect with Charlie being sort of an individual doing something that other people should be doing, and I want to encourage people to take this emotion and this lesson that we've learned from Charlie and do something with it. And that something is buried in the word petition in the First Amendment. We're all called to petition government, and we are silent in the public square, down at city council and the school boards. We are not there standing against the agenda which attacked Charlie yesterday. And that's something that we need to be doing, and we absolutely have to be doing. If we had been doing this for all these years, I don't know that we would be where we are, but we can no longer stand silent. Charlie didn't. I don't here in Jacksonville, and we all need to stand up and join each other and walk shoulder to shoulder as we stand to protect our Constitution and our scriptural values.
That's well said. I mean, we've gotta be able to stand up. We've got to be able to speak. And I would tell people, and this is what I told my family last night, who they're worried. And I gotta say, in all honesty, I feel a little silly with the number of people sending me notes thinking about you, hope you're safe. I didn't live in the world that Charlie Kirk lived in at the level that Charlie Kirk lived in it. He had a radio show, but he was actually really known for Turning Point and for organizing on campus and being in the president's inner circle, and he had a lot of notoriety in that regard that I don't feel like I'm in the I don't feel like I deserve any of the people wishing me well and hope you're safe. I don't think I got the target on my back that Charlie had on his. But what I told my family last night is, well, I appreciate their concerns and the concerns of everyone else. Now is the time to be bold. And it is the time to stand up and speak. Now is the time to be the truth teller, to not back down. It is necessary that truth prevail and that good prevail, and that people on both sides who are ready to fight with ballots, not bullets, fight with their voice, not their fist, and to call people to their better angels. And if I can use my platform to call people to their better angels, then that's what I need to do. But I don't worry. I'm not. I'm concerned about Ben Shapiro, frankly, and people hate Ben far more than they ever hated Charlie. Ben has to go everywhere with security. But I appreciate the concern from people. I'm not concerned at all. I don't think I have that high a profile as a lot of these guys like Ben and Charlie do. But I know that regardless, this is not a time to live in fear or to cower or to hide, but to be out there and be bold with truth. Steve in Springfield, Massachusetts, I'm going to go to you next. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Hi, Eric. How are you doing?
Great.
That put a bullet in my heart hearing about Charlie Kirk. He was such a bright light. He was so young. He was so brilliant. They couldn't win an argument with him.
No, they couldn't. They they didn't even want to, and that's the thing that is so infuriating here is this person never even tried to make an argument. They just they wanted to confront his words with a bullet.
And I am starting to really despise people. They can't win an argument, so they have to stir up hatred, like the Nazis did, like Mao did. That's what they do. They stir up an argument. They stir up hatred because they can't win the argument, and they love communism so much. Their favorite revolution was the French Revolution. Guillotine the royalty and then guillotine each other. And they don't believe that you have a right to own property. That's
so
disgusting
Steve,
and it's evil.
It is. And so I'm glad you bring up that French Revolution because the revolution turns on itself. The revolutionaries get eaten by the revolution. And that history shows that happens. I mean, think about the Chris Murphys of the world who are out there saying this is a war. You've got to fight in ways you haven't had to fight before. We've got to fight fire with fire to save democracy. Along comes this person who kills Charlie Kirk, and Chris Murphy's like, I didn't really mean. At some point, people on the left are going to come for the guys like Chris Murphy. Say, you told us to fight, we fought, and now you say that's not it. It's wild to see these sorts of things, and yet so he's back on MSNBC after all of that. And he's trying to tie all this to January 6th now.
I'm certainly thinking about the quickening pace of political violence in this country. In an extraordinarily short amount of time, you've seen the murder of state legislators in Minnesota, attempted assassinations of the President of the United States. Obviously, January 6th still lives in our very present memory. And we've got to have a conversation about how we draw a line here, and we can't afford to argue who's more at risk, the right or the left. The fact of the matter is the shots are being fired at political figures, whether they are Republicans or Democrats. There has been a permissiveness about political violence, and I do think the President of the United States has to answer for the way in which he has created that culture of permissiveness, but there have been elements of the left who have lionized and celebrated violence as well, and this is a moment for everybody to assess where we are and recognize that our entire democratic experiment is going to crumble if people don't believe that they're safe when they express their political views.
I agree with that, except this is the same guy who told Chuck Todd that we got to fight fire with fire. This is a war. You don't say this is a war unless you're willing to fight like it's a war. The hysteria from these people. And then when people take them at their word, so like, I didn't really mean it, but Trump. You know what? I'm going to play Brian Stelter here from CNN. Yep. Going to play Brian Stelter, who I often criticize on this program. Let me just let you listen to every word of this.
The prayers are so all-consuming right now and bipartisan. Everyone from President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance to members of the cabinet to Democratic leaders like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. Bipartisan condemnation of this act of political violence. It's a reminder, Brianna, that in a country like America, in a democracy, we only have a democracy if we settle our disagreements with words, not with violence. For the liberals, for the anti-Trump voices, for the anti-Kirk voices out there who feel despair, about the direction of the country's politics, the way to address that is through words, not through violence. And so whenever we see one of these appalling crimes, it is disturbing because it cuts to the core of how the American democracy functions.
Amen. He is absolutely right. Absolutely right. We don't settle these disagreements, and yet there are those, and yes, on the left, there are those who are filled with such despair they've decided that it's time to be violent. That, listen, well, I'll say this because I feel very strongly about it. I don't tell you guys things I don't believe. My job is never to tell you what you want to hear, and oftentimes tell you stuff you don't want to hear. Whether you want to hear it or not, I think everybody needs to hear this. If you don't have something other than politics in your life, and politics goes against you, you have nothing to fill the void that will be left behind, and so the void will be filled with despair. There is a reason that the sociological data in this country for decades has now shown that regular churchgoers who actually believe the Bible are the happiest people. They tend to live the longest. They have the best mental health because they have Jesus. When the whole world fails you, he never does. When the world doesn't give you what you want, he finds a way to give you what you need. People who have Jesus have no room for the void because he fills it so completely and perfectly. So on the left, you have people turning to violence. On the right, you have people who have turned to violence. And a common denominator is they have no hope in the resurrection. They don't have Jesus filling the void. So they try to fill the void. And when they fill the void, they oftentimes fill it with violence. There are so many people on the left who are secular, who believe this world is all we have. There's a reason that so many of the mass murders and genocides in history have come from secular ideology, from communism, from the Nazis, the beheadings during the French Revolution, because they were trying to build utopia, trying to build heaven on earth because they had no concept of heaven. They had no eternal resting place. They were trying to make it here. Still, they try to make it here. They have a void in their soul, in their heart, and they will fill it oftentimes violently. Trying to get these people to fill that void with something other than politics is necessary. And the best way to fill the void is to fill it with something that will eternally fill it. And too many people don't like to talk about that.
When the truth seems hazy, Eric will clear the way. It's the Eric Erickson Show.
151 Coolray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. The jam continues 75 both directions between Kennesaw and Ackworth, with right lane construction 75 north near Wade Green, and southbound also in the right lane near Barrett Parkway. Go ahead and think about using Highway 41 as an alternate. Right lane construction out of Lawrenceville in Gwinnett County, 316 westbound passing Sugarloaf Parkway, causing delays over to I-85. Traffic brought to you by Georgia United Credit Union. Dreaming of a home upgrade? A home equity line of credit from Georgia United can make it happen. Visit dreams.gucu.org today. Georgia United is an equal housing lender. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Friday starting at 5 for Atlanta's Morning News, of course, the latest on the Charlie Kirk investigation from Utah and live from the White House, and how much warmer in our weekend forecast on 95.5 WSB.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville, online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Mike Geller at D. Geller & Son Jewelers.
And this is Jonathan Geller. And Dad, you ever think we're too honest in our commercials?
What do you mean?
Like telling people we've got the best prices in Atlanta.
It all comes down to the best jewelry at the best prices.
Maybe that's why folks have trusted us since 1939.
Exactly.
In Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Cue the jingle.
Affordable jewelry for everyone is at D. Geller & Son.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
You know you want a luxurious deck, but you're feeling overwhelmed with so many options. It's enough to make your head spin. Hi, I'm Scott Nelson, owner of Nelson Exteriors. Maybe you know exactly what your dream deck looks like. We can build that. If not, we offer design help and expert guidance to create a beautiful, high-quality deck that you'll enjoy every day. Decks done differently, decks done right, with exceptional customer service at a reasonable price. Get your free estimate, Google Nelson Exteriors.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Save big on 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs. They're just $2.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
All the news, weather, and traffic you need. 95.5 WSB. 4 Things You Need to Know podcast. Giving you the 4 things to pay attention to after the show. Available on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. Or by texting Eric to 33777.
Welcome back. Bruce, I want to go to you next. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Good, sir. At any rate, the thought that came to me when we've had this discussion you're having today is that there's an awful lot of difference. We go to love or hate, and it isn't that. There's people, as I told Charlie, I really liked Richard Nixon and voted for him, but after I heard what he did, I didn't respect him. But when you don't respect, that doesn't give you a license to go shoot or firebomb somebody. It's that simple. And I mean, I look at other people, these women on The View. I just never listen to them, but I hear what they've said. That's hard to respect. And Joe Biden, I can't tell you I hate him, but when you look at the things he did, every time I go in a store and spend money, he's taking money out of my pocket by what he did, and it was his ignorance that did it. The point is that if we change it, I can disrespect a lot of people. That doesn't mean I can't like them, love them, and want them to go to heaven.
Yeah, you know, I again, it's you don't have to agree with people. That doesn't mean hate them. Too many people, hate is cheap. Hate is easy. And a lot of people want to take the easy path, and it's so unfortunate. Americans for Prosperity, they're trying to get people to recommit to freedom, and maybe today is the perfect day to maybe really think about going to afpvolunteer.com. They want you to take one step for freedom in your community. If 250,000 people do it, think about 250,000 steps for freedom in time for our 250th anniversary as a nation. If we make it that long, I assume we will. Go to afpvolunteer.com today. Sign up with AFP. Commit to recommitting to freedom, the freedoms that our founders wanted us to have, to enjoy, to take. afpvolunteer.com is where you want to go, afpvolunteer.com. They want 250,000 of us to take a step for freedom in their 250,000 Steps for Freedom Challenge. Improve your community, improve your state, improve your country with just one step for freedom at afpvolunteer.com. Go sign up today.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
The foods we eat can be downright bad for our health. This is Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've been teaching the truth about real bread. Not the stuff you buy at the store. I'm talking real bread made with freshly milled flour. When you buy bread from the store, take a look at the ingredients. Enriched flour means that the nutritious bran and germ has been removed to improve the shelf life. Then a few B vitamins and iron are added back to replace the multitude of nutrients lost. That's not enrichment in my book. And today, that label may even read contains bioengineered food ingredients. Food should never be bioengineered. At Bread Beckers in Woodstock, we can teach you how to make real bread loaded with fiber and nutrients. A delicious, healthy, affordable solution that can improve your health and change your life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
At 2 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. New clues today in the search for the assassin who killed Charlie Kirk.
The FBI's Salt Lake City field office put out a statement and photos of a suspect that they believe is behind the shooting of Charlie Kirk and is asking the public for their assistance in finding him.
CBS's Anna Schechter says authorities have also found what they believe is the murder weapon and a video of the suspect after the shooting. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the ID and arrest of the person. We have posted a photo of the person of interest at WSBradio.com. Kirk died after he was shot in the neck while speaking at an outdoor Turning Point event at Utah Valley University yesterday. It is 82 degrees in Atlanta. Do we get back into the 90s tomorrow? Meteorologist Christina Edwards has Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up. Hundreds of South Koreans detained in an immigration raid in South Georgia are now headed home after their flight leaves Atlanta earlier today.
Atlanta Immigration Attorney Charles Cook represents 10 of the Korean nationals who were taken into custody during a raid at a South Georgia Hyundai manufacturing facility last week and have been in a diplomatic holding pattern ever since. He says they're grateful to be going home.
They haven't violated any immigration laws, and their visas are still valid, and they're eligible to return to the United States at any time.
But he says the clients he's spoken to don't plan to return. Cook places the blame for the situation on officials with ICE. A spokesperson for the agency declined to comment. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
A shelter-in-place order is lifted at Spelman College and Clark Atlanta University because of a threat made against Clark. A spokesman for the school says the order was issued as a precautionary measure. There have been similar threats at other HBCUs today. Several colleges and universities across the country have seen phony threats in recent weeks. And again, the shelter-in-place order for Atlanta at Clark Atlanta and Spelman now lifted. A coach is now facing charges after an incident that injured a child during football practice at Old National Park in South Fulton. Police charged Jonathan Richard Sagers with cruelty to children in the first degree and battery. Witnesses report seeing the coach push the child down and the boy collapsed. He is now out of the hospital. A warning about West Nile virus infections. The Atlanta-based CDC says cases are about 40% higher than normal for this time of the year. The agency also says deaths are on track to be higher this year. Health officials are ramping up warnings to the public because most cases of the mosquito-borne disease are reported in August and September. It is now 2:02. This news sponsored by Bread Beckers. Up next, live team coverage of traffic and weather.
I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. I've been in banking for over 30 years, and my team and I know that businesses have the best results when they work with local bankers who know the Atlanta market. Bankers who will work to understand your business operations and bring good ideas to the table. At Ameris Bank, we do that. I invite you to reach out so we can start a conversation. Visit amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years. Woo! The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
At Jape Services, family isn't just a slogan, it's how we do business.
Our family has been helping homeowners with their heating and cooling since 1978.
And now, we're riding along just like our dad did when he was 14.
And today, we're here to help your family stay cool and comfortable. If your AC is struggling, call Jape Services for honest pricing, expert heating and cooling repair, or replacement.
Decades of experience, family-run values, service you can trust.
Let our family take care of your family.
Jape Services.
It's 2:05, time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather in the 24-hour traffic center. It's Alex Williams.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. And we are watching the jam in McDonough improve. We had a crash 75 northbound at Highway 155, exit 216 in Henry County. It has since cleared out of the roadway, so brake lights improving out of Locust Grove. Heads up in Newton County, been dealing with a crash shutting down I-20 in both directions west of Alman Road. Exit number 88. Finally starting to get some eastbound lanes open, but it is jammed both ways. You can use the access road as your alternate to avoid those delays. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy, hotter today with a high of 87. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high near 90. Saturday, sunny skies, morning lows in the mid-60s, daytime highs in the upper 80s to low 90s.
85 in Canton, 84 in Douglasville, and in Covington. More news at 2:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is day, D-A-Y. Go to the WSB radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is day, D-A-Y. Join me live at 3 for the Von Hessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5 p.m.
Hello, America. It is Eric Erickson here across the United States. The phone number is 877-973-7425. Should you wish to be on the program? I want to, let's go from one difficult topic to another. If you're on the phones, be patient. 24 years ago today, our world changed. Yesterday, I suspect, is a turning point in the country. 24 years ago today was a turning point. I began my radio program yesterday. I began it yesterday saying events change things. I ended it telling you Charlie Kirkage has been shot. I began it saying events change things. People went to work in the World Trade Center on September 10th, 2001. And they left. And they came back the next day. And they expected to go through the motions yet again. Over 2,000 of them. Never went home. You know, I'm kind of tired of talking about dead people lately. From the school shooting to Charlie Kirk to 9/11. But events change things. 9/11 profoundly impacted the psyche of the American Republic. 9/11 was a significant turning point in American history because we had until that moment been as a nation invulnerable, protected by two vast oceans and large land masses to the north and south of us, in a continent away from all the troubles. The Western Hemisphere, far more peaceful than the Eastern Hemisphere. And on that day, evil came to our shore. I have a friend who was headed to an interview at the Windows of the World restaurant. She came out of her hotel, stepped on one of those grates that's over the subways. Her high heel got caught in it and snapped. She had to go back inside and change her shoes. She left, caught a cab, was arriving at the building at 8:46 a.m. as that plane flew into the first tower. She saw it. She knew it wasn't a small plane. She knew it was bad. And she left. I have a friend who was on his way out the door and realized his son had left his lunchbox on the counter, and so he had to go by school to take it to his kid. And then he got on the subway, and the subway came to a halt. Several stops before the World Trade Center, and everyone was told to get out. He got out, and he saw. My boss's daughter, you know, today's the election in New York. My boss's daughter, when I was a lawyer, was one of the heads of the Board of Elections for the city of New York. She was in the World Trade Center. She was manning the polls, getting polls set up nearby, took shelter in a neighboring building, and waited out the day until she could be rescued, unable to tell anyone she was alive. Events change things. The Civil War, one of the most profound events in American history. There are people in the South who still argue it was actually an economic argument. It was about slavery. And you know, originally it was, but it morphed. It became bigger than the argument that they wished to, and it became a just cause. It became a righteous cause. This country had been founded on the idea that all men were created equal, and yet the founders allowed some to be kept in chains. It became a moral cause, and the right side won. The good side won. And what did the bad side do? They integrated back into society. My son asked me yesterday what I thought of Robert E. Lee. Allegedly a relation, although I'm somewhat dismissive of it because everyone in the South claims that they are related. I think Robert E. Lee was a good man on the wrong side of a war. And when the war was over, decided to commit himself to the project that is the United States. And a man who could have used his fame and clout to continue to divide and tear the country apart decided to do what he could to use his fame to put the country back together, recognizing he had played a role in breaking it apart. And I don't think we should vilify people like that. World War II and Pearl Harbor, that threw America for a loop. And we had to go save the free world. And in return, the free world entrusted the Western order to us. And as time has gone on and people have died and memories have faded, we have forgotten the trust the whole world put in us to preserve the world order. And many people now wish to break apart that world order. 9/11 was the moment we realized that the world order was beginning to upend itself. And we had to make a commitment to stand. Good versus evil, the United States versus monsters who wish to kill us. My son came home from school the other day and said he was horrified to learn the majority, he said, of his class, and I don't know that it is a majority, but a lot of kids in his class really have concluded over time that 9/11 was an inside job. It's disgusting that that view has festered, because what that view says is that America is evil, and there are those who wish us to believe this country is evil. And when you decide to believe that it was an inside job, you are essentially deciding that the United States government decided to exterminate thousands of its own citizens for some cause. Yesterday was a turning point in this country. Yesterday, a 31-year-old father and husband was assassinated for his views. This nation, 24 years ago today, was attacked because of who we are. Yesterday, Charlie Kirk was attacked for who he was. What are we as Americans? We are people from all walks of life who have joined hands to perpetuate a common experiment. Now, there are those on the right now who have embraced this blood and soil idea that we're actually a nation of people and place, and we are a nation of people and place, but we're also more than that. The United States is bigger than just a landmass filled with people. We were forged in a fight over an idea. Most nations do not have a mission statement. Most nations exist over time, over a series of battles, where they develop a common culture and language and borders, oftentimes directed by rivers or mountain ranges or the end of landmass into ocean, or their islands. And they're people of a common tongue and a common tribe, and we are not and never have been. But all of us got together at the beginning, and we agreed, our founders did for us, on a mission statement for this country. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That's why I have to correct conservatives who say illegal aliens, when they come to this country, they have no rights. No, our rights come from our Creator. That's our founding statement as a country. That is our mission. That is our purpose. That is our belief as a country, that we are endowed, all of us, by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, including the illegal aliens who come here. These aren't constitutional rights. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, just preserves the rights that God gave us, That's our understanding as a nation. You as a conservative, you as a liberal, if you recognize that the Declaration of Independence was our mission statement as a country, you have to recognize that our rights come from our Creator. So you can't actually say that illegal aliens have no rights, because all men are created equal and are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. It doesn't say all American citizens. It doesn't say citizens. It doesn't say residents. It says all men are created equal. That's what sets us apart. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us special. And oftentimes people within this country begin to twist that and pollute that and decide that's actually bad. We need to move beyond it. It's outdated. It's outmoded. It's not true. But it's what makes us unique. It's our superpower. It's why people are willing to walk here across land masses, through desert and jungle, through war-infested zones, through gangland territory, to come here to be one of us. We've broken down the assimilation over time. That's actually our problem. It's not illegal immigration. Although illegal immigration is a problem, our problem is there are people who, on the left in particular, have decided that assimilation and becoming America, what does it mean? It's whatever you want it to mean. No, what it means is that you believe all men are created equal and are endowed with their Creator, by their Creator, with certain unalienable rights. And yesterday, someone fired a bullet because they hated that one of our rights is speech. 24 years ago today, a group of monsters got on airplanes and killed thousands of Americans because they hated what it means to be America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. 90 years ago yesterday, the governor of Louisiana was assassinated, and his son, Russell Long, the future senator of Louisiana, said it is with ballots and not bullets that we will decide the destiny of this country. It is what we do. It's what we must do. 24 years ago, thousands of Americans were killed. Planes were crashed into buildings in a field. And the heroes of the day, the first responders, were to some degree outmatched by the heroes of Flight 93, who, summoning the strength of the best of us, decided that they should die, that more should live, and committed themselves with Todd Beamer's words, "Let's roll." And we should roll on, recognizing what we have here is so special. An nation founded on an idea that to this day inspires others both to hate us and to want to be us. Let's roll.
Follow Eric on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Search EW Erickson.
221 Cool Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. Just had two trouble spots clear downtown, one 7585 north of University Avenue, and another one north of there just past I-20. So still seeing those brake lights as you try to get up past I-20 through the Grady Hospital curve. Heads up out in Newton County, crash. Looks like lanes are open 20 eastbound, but 20 westbound still shut down past Alman Road, exit number 88. Use the access road. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop organics at Whole Foods Market. Get organic black, red, and green seedless grapes for $2.99 per pound with Prime through September 16th while supplies last. Shop in store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It's the WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. This hour's keyword is day, D-A-Y. Go to the WSB radio app or WSBradio.com/cash for your chance to win. Again, that keyword is day, D-A-Y. Join me live at 3 for the Von Hessler Doctrine, and I'll have your next keyword and chance to win at 5 p.m.
Hey folks, the heat hasn't let up, so mosquitoes, fire ants, and roaches are still at their peak. That's why I trust my Arrow Exterminators team member Ken to keep my home protected. Arrow's been family owned for over 61 years, and they use the most effective and environmentally friendly solutions available. And they guarantee 100% customer satisfaction. Call today for your free pest inspection at 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com and tell them Belinda sent you.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. I know finding a dream engagement ring can be overwhelming, but don't worry, we got you. As director of diamond sourcing, it's my job to make sure every single diamond at Shane Company is truly the best of the best. Our team travels the world to see diamonds up close, in person. We handpick each one for its unique fire, brilliance, and scintillation. Diamond buying is an art. Of course, we look at cut, color, clarity, and carat, known as the 4 C's, but that's not all. We also look at how each diamond looks on a hand, where it will be worn, how it makes you feel, and if it's worthy of a Shane Company customer. That type of expertise only comes from working for a company that's been a family business since 1929. We also think about your budget. We only pick the best in each grade in all shapes and sizes. Your diamond is guaranteed to be the most beautiful because a friend wants you to pick from only the best. Drop by your store or shaneco.com and see for yourself. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
Hey, this is Robbie with Ben Hill Renovations, the preferred deck experts heard on the Home Fix-It Show. We're well known for our superior craftsmanship for decks and outdoor living spaces. And at Ben Hill Renovations, we provide that same attention to detail when it comes to roofing, siding, windows, and doors. So get your project started today and call to schedule a free estimate. Or you can stop by our showroom in Douglasville, online at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Attention men, does ED and PE have you down? Well, great news. Choice Men's Health has the latest breakthrough treatments that can get you up and running. Meet the specialist who is dedicated to helping you perform better than ever in the bedroom.
Hi, I'm Dr. Katz, Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Our custom treatment plans have a 98% success rate at improving ED and PE on your very first visit, even if Viagra and Cialis have failed. Regardless of your age and medical history, we are here and dedicated to help you regain your love life.
Don't wait. Call Choice Men's Health now. We are so confident we can help. For a limited time, we're offering to cover your first treatment for free. Call 404-400-1170. Call now to claim your free treatment. 404-400-1170. Results guaranteed on your first visit or it's free. 404-400-1170. Choice Men's Health, the only choice for your health.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Your non-stop news source, 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Those of you who are on the phones, if you don't mind, I promise I will get to you as soon as I come back. I don't have time to talk to you at the moment. I went long last segment. The phone number is 877-973-7425 if you want to be on the program. If you do me a favor and text Eric, ERICK, to 33777, we're growing our social media presence. YouTube, Rumble, they're all there. If you text Eric, ERICK, to 33777, you can find all those links. If you would subscribe, it would actually help me tremendously as we are growing the show. You know, I'll just tell you, pulling back the curtain and the ghoulish bit of it is, you know, Charlie and I were on at the same time of day, and man, trying to navigate the how do you talk to stations and say, hey, we're an option, and not look, it's just so gross. This is the part of this business I hate, and I just can't bring myself to do it. And I know other people are, and maybe they'll get stations, but my gosh, just gross to try to do something like that at a time like this. Ugh. Okay, we got to move on. Let me tell you about the Eden Pure Thunderstorm. You can get 3 of them. You can save $200 at EdenPureDeals.com. EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Eric3. They're an air purifier, so they're small, they're portable. You can kill bacteria and viruses. You can trap pollen and dust and pet dander. You can eliminate odors. You can eliminate, like, you name any odor, smoke odor, litter box odor, the smoker on the back porch because you left the window open and now your back porch smells like brisket odor. That happened to me. You forgot to flush the toilet, or you name it. It wipes out odors. You get 3 of them: upstairs, downstairs, your basement, your travel bag, your RV, wherever you need them. The rental car that someone smoked in before you got it, you can plug it up with a USB cord. You can plug it directly into the wall, and it just wipes out odors. So you go to EdenPureDeals.com. You'll see a discount code box. You put in Eric3, ERICK, the number 3. You do it at EdenPureDeals.com, and you can get 3 of them and save $200.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride
Don't
home.
tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
At 2:30, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. As the search for Charlie Kirk's killer continues, President Trump says he plans to honor Kirk.
I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd. Very, very big.
The president makes the announcement while speaking at a 9/11 event at the Pentagon today. The FBI is releasing images of a person of interest in the killing, and we posted those photos at WSBradio.com. After the shooting of Charlie Kirk, the chancellor of the University System of Georgia vows to protect civil debate and open dialogue on campuses in Georgia. Chancellor Sonny Perdue says, as educators, we have a responsibility to ensure our students, faculty, and staff can speak freely and respectfully without fear of being unlawfully silenced or disrupted. After a week-long drama, hundreds of Korean nationals who have been in immigration custody in Georgia are now on a flight back to South Korea. Atlanta immigration attorney Charles Cook represents 10 of the workers who are on their way home. He says they can return to the U.S. anytime, but
I've spoken to 5 of my clients so far. They finally got their phones back. None of them are coming back.
he says ICE mishandled the situation, as a spokesperson for ICE has declined to comment. Mazda is recalling thousands of vehicles over a possible issue with the gas gauge. It could give inaccurate readings, and drivers could unexpectedly run out of fuel. The recall includes some 2024-25 CX90 mild hybrid electric vehicles and certain 2025 CX70 mild hybrid electric vehicles. It is now 2:32, and this news is sponsored by FGA Roofing.
This is Scott Slade, and nothing takes the place of time when it comes to spotting problems with your health, especially cancer. The earlier the better. That's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging's LDCT core body scan can be invaluable, giving you more time for you and your loved ones to take charge of your health. They can detect tumors as early as precancerous virtually anywhere in your body, and aneurysms you may not even know are there. Due to overwhelming demand for a limited time, their $995 core body scan offer has been extended. It's a $2,495 value. Early detection saves lives, and now it's more affordable than ever. Virtual Imaging has gotten such great response to this offer that they've opened up more times in both offices, but appointments will fill up fast, so don't wait. Some minimum requirements may apply. Early detection is your best protection. To schedule your virtual imaging $995 core body scan, call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Did you know that warts are caused by a virus? Hi, it's Sue from Bread Beckers with Sue's Healthy Minute. A customer at Bread Beckers shared her story of frustration. Her daughter had warts, over 500 of them. Her beautiful, healthy daughter could not get rid of warts despite trying doctors, burning, freezing, ointments, you name it. We taught this woman that every nutrient needed to protect ourselves from viruses can be found in whole grains and real bread. She bought everything needed from Bread Beckers to make her own real bread at home. With this one simple change, her daughter's warts were gone in just 2.5 weeks for good. I have a degree in food science, and for more than 30 years, I've studied the incredible health benefits of whole grains and real bread. If you're struggling with warts, high cholesterol, bowel issues, or kids who seem to be constantly sick, take the first step to a healthier life. Visit breadbeckers.com or our Bread Beckers store in Woodstock.
Linda Beaver here. Summer may be over, but the deals are just heating up. Time to get to Beaver Toyota of Cumming because your car is here, your price is right, and it's time to drive. Low monthly payments, top dollar for your trade, 600 plus cars to choose from. We really do have a deal for everyone. And only here you get Beaver benefits with perks like lifetime powertrain warranty, lifetime oil changes, complimentary car washes, and loaners whenever you need them. Your deal's waiting, your car's ready. Visit BeaverToyotaCumming.com. Don't wait another minute.
At 2:34, Alex Williams in the traffic center.
Still watching the big jam on I-75 in both directions between Ackworth and Kennesaw, all due to construction. Right lane block 75 north past Wade Green, and a right lane block 75 south before Barrett Parkway. You can avoid it all and use Highway 41 there as an alternate. Red alert continues out in Newton County. All lanes shut down. 20 westbound, Alman Road, exit 88. Use the access road as an alternate. And still watching that right lane construction out of Lawrenceville. 316 westbound just past Sugarloaf Parkway. Slowing the ride as you head over to I-85. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy through this afternoon. High 87.
84 in Riverdale, 82 in Decula, 84 in Milton. More news at 3 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
Hello there, welcome. It is Eric Erickson here. I'm about to take Donna's phone call here from Fernandina Beach, Florida, and I'm not going to be able to get other phone calls because the call screener's daughter got sick at school, and so he had to close the phone lines and go get his kid from school. So, Donna, you get to be the last call today from one of my favorite places, Fernandina Beach. How are you?
I'm good, and I just wanted to tell you that I'm a person of faith, and I so appreciate your comments and your quoting of Scripture. We need to hear your voice, and this is such a sad day, both because of Charlie and also because it's the anniversary of 9/11. And thank you for being there and for all that you do.
Thank you very much, Donna. I appreciate that very much. Look, I said it earlier, and I am tired of talking about people getting shot. And we have become, as a nation, desensitized to school shootings. It's just, I don't think you can disagree with me on that. The headlines move on so quickly now. 2 weeks ago, we had a school shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where a gunman locked elementary school-age children in a church and began opening fire. Yesterday, as news was breaking that Charlie Kirk was gunned down in Utah, there was a school shooting in Colorado. Time and time again, we have school shootings, and we as a nation have gotten desensitized to them. The left immediately rushes to scream about gun control, the right about mental health. We spend a day or two and then we move on. More so when the shooter is a trans activist, like what happened in Nashville at Covenant and in Minneapolis. When the shooter's on the left, the media moves on as quickly as possible. Look, I was not on CNN when James Hodgkinson attempted the mass assassination of members of Congress. But I have friends, including Mary Catherine Ham, who were still at CNN when that happened. And the moment it came out that the shooter was a Rachel Maddow fan and a Bernie Sanders supporter, the conversation changed immediately to something else. When it's a shooter who is clearly on the right, the media stays with the conversation forever. Look at the shootings in Minnesota of the politicians, the Speaker of the House and her husband murdered, the state senator shot, and his wife. And it turned out that the shooter was not a Republican, as some claimed, or the pro-like activist, as some claimed. He was a appointee, a politically patronage position that Tim Walz had appointed. And when it turned out the guy had connections to Tim Walz, you hadn't heard about that story anymore, have you? You haven't heard about that guy anymore, have you? But had the person been tied to Donald Trump, my Lord, we'd still be hearing about it. The biases in the press and how they cover these stories. And I'm just really tired of having to cover people getting shot. And my prayer is that we do not get as desensitized to political violence in this country as we have school shootings. Because it would be a horrible thing for society. It would discourage a lot of people from getting into politics. And there are a lot of things happening in the country to already discourage good people from getting into politics. We need more good people, not less. But when you find a good person, half of them don't want to run, and the other half, when they do run, you find out they committed some sin, and you're like, nope, can't have that guy. He did something I don't like. Let me go with the guy who has a lot of things I don't like, because at least I'll expect it from him. It's very odd. You should know as I'm talking right now, the New York Times is reporting that investigators are walking back the claims now about the transgender and anti-fascist ideology being engraved on the casings and the gun, that it is not now confirmed. The ATF says that this is the case. The FBI as well saying that this is a report that came out from the Wall Street Journal, CNN echoed it, and others, and now press reports are saying that this actually they're walking it back and it's not necessarily confirmed. So be careful with that story. Also, there's some breaking news happening right now. Paramount, Skydance, is preparing to buy CNN's parent company, the Warner Brothers Discovery. This would be good for CNN, particularly if Paramount does go through with the plan to put Bar Weiss in charge of their news coverage from the Free Press. You know, she's not on the right. She's a liberal, but she's a liberal who's been mugged by reality and realizes progressives have gone insane and have become anti-Semitic. The newsroom at CNN and at CBS could use some cleanup. I mean, I think about CNN now has had on multiple Democratic politicians today to lecture the right. And I got to say, whoever it was it Brianna Keeler this morning? I can't remember. Who had on Dan Goldman, was deeply uncomfortable with him rushing to both sides of this and say it was, Trump exploiting rhetoric, no accountability for the left and the rhetoric of the left. There's got to be some cleanup within the newsrooms of the country because, the press plays a role in this stuff. You and I may not listen. I don't actually watch the news, really. I watch News Nation to the extent that I watch the news. I was asked to go on CNN yesterday, and I chose not to go on CNN yesterday because I was exhausted by the story, and I was afraid that they would get into both sides stuff, and I knew that I would say something very undiplomatic on TV and decided it was better for them and for me if I just avoided the subject, the emotions being raw. But I do like CNN. I just think they need to clean up their act. They have definitely, they're playing up the Trump derangement syndrome stuff. Also, the White House has announced that the Vice President of the United States will fly to Utah to take custody of Charlie Kirk's casket and body, and Charlie Kirk will be transported back to Arizona on Air Force Two with the Vice President of the United States. You know, he was a big advisor to Donald Trump. They talked regularly. He was like a kid brother to Donald Trump Jr. They had a strong relationship. This one hits very close to home for the president. I talked to a couple of people who said the president was angry and distraught last night. And the president in his statement said that left-wing rhetoric had a role to play in what happened. And people on the left are like, oh, is he blaming the left? He's blaming the... Well, yeah, you should. Because, yes, there was a role that the left and its rhetoric did play in this. And if you're not willing to deny it, you're part of the problem.
Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
What a week. And we got one more day to go. There is other news out there. I don't know what good it is to cover the other news to y'all. I just, I feel spent. I genuinely, I feel spent by this. I have written multiple newspaper columns. I've had to write my own Substack, be with you guys, field calls from reporters, do radio interviews, and it feels both necessary and also, trite. We live in these wild times. So let me just spend these remaining moments with you this way. Charlie Kirk's organization was called Turning Point USA, and we are at a turning point with his death. How you choose to move forward will be reflected in your community and everyone's community. How the people in those communities choose to move forward will ultimately affect their state and those states, the nation. You have an active role to play in your community. You have an active role to play in the political process. And one of the best roles to play is to be active in the political process. Not to be angry, not to be mean, not to seek revenge, but to get out and vote. There's an election, I mentioned yesterday, there's an election here in Georgia. Get your absentee ballot now. Stop the communist takeover of the power grid in the Southeast by registering to vote and voting in Georgia in the upcoming election for Fitz Johnson and Tim Echols in the Public Service Commission race. You want to support the incumbents. Get involved in your state. Get involved in the politics of your state. But also, as Charlie said last week, go to church. Get married, have kids, get a mortgage, be normal. There's something for being normal. And also, above all else, you don't have to so constantly care about the political process. So one of the problems that the left has in this country is with no God, they've made government their God. And every nook and cranny of their lives is filled with government. I'm a conservative because I'm a Christian. And I know that we are all sinners, and I want as few sinners in charge of me as possible. That's why I support limited government. Your principles still matter. It's not just the tribe and the tribalists, but the principles at stake too. Commit yourself to the founding of the country. Commit yourself to the founder's vision of the country. Commit yourself to the idea that all men are created equal, and we do all have unalienable rights given to us by our Creator, not the government. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Pursue happiness for yourself and for your family. Make the best life you can for your family. Don't ask for government handout. Don't rely on Uncle Sam's man boob for it. You do it yourself. And you get your family engaged in your community. Do you know where your battered women's shelter is in your community by chance? Your soup kitchen? Your food bank? Your food pantry? You know where your local nonprofit service organizations are? Your local Salvation Army? Your local Red Cross? You should go find them. Get to know those people. Improve your community. Because I got to tell you, what I'm optimistic, I think, about you guys, but I occasionally get pessimistic about our country. And I try not to be a pessimist. I mean, listen, my motto is, why pray when I can worry? I'm a natural pessimist. You know, if you're a pessimist, you're never disappointed. So one of the upsides of being a pessimist is you're just never disappointed. And I don't want to be disappointed in the country. Don't want to be a pessimist about the country, though. So get involved in your community in some small way. Find one way that you can commit to improve your community. It doesn't have to be performance. Maybe you just write a check. You don't have time to volunteer, but you have time to find a cause in your community to support that's not really political, but helps your community. You're going to be saving the country at the local level. Our founders designed this country to work best at the local level. So if you want to save the country, work best at the local level. Many of you are concerned and upset with what happened, and understandably so. Many of you want revenge. You're angry. I'm angry. But do not sin. No one ever said it was easy. And it's not easy. But you know what you do at times like this? I got to tell myself sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, either about Christy's health or something going on in life. You just put one step forward. Put one foot forward. Then you put the other foot forward. You may be dragging them. Pretty soon you've moved. You got to just keep moving. You got to keep on keeping on. There's nothing else you can do. Just don't hate the other side so much that you decide you want revenge. Beat them. Don't get revenge. Beat them, but beat them at the ballot box. That's what Charlie Kirk would want.
You're at the intersection of politics, news, culture, and current events. It's the Erick Erickson Show.
250 Cool-Ray Carrier, WSB 24-hour traffic center. We just found new trouble on the West Freeway. It's a crash in the left lane, 20 eastbound past Riverside Parkway, exit 46, slowing the ride out of Lithia Springs. Still slow 75 north and southbound through Kennesaw with right lane construction southbound near Barrett Parkway, and northbound hopefully breaking down seen near Wade Green Road. Traffic brought to you by the International Hot Rod Association. International Hot Rod Association and Duran Hybrid, where the road of the engine meets the torque of the wrench, building champions on the track and in the trades. Get your tickets at ihra.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
No way! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
I just won $1,000 from WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 5
I am
p.m.
so excited.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day, the day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hello there. It is Eric Erickson here. It looks like the Emmys have seen the light on host. They've got Nate Bargatze is going to be the host of the Emmys, which is a good thing. It's, you know, I'm kind of tired of all the left-wing comedians out there who can't help but decide that the only way to make jokes is to laugh at the right. Bargatze, my son is a big Nate Bargatze fan. We're going to see him in November, and it's nice to see that a good guy like him doing as well as he is. It's very clean comedy. You don't go expecting profanity and stuff like that. You just go and expect to. He spent a lot of time joking about himself and his life, and having him on stage at the Emmys as opposed to some of the people they could have had is nice to see. Also, the United Kingdom has just fired its ambassador to the United States, Peter Mandelson. Turns out he was in the Epstein files, and in that book that had Donald Trump's note, essentially he had written a note to Jeffrey Epstein that referred to Epstein as his bestie, as his best friend. So the UK is ousting him, which is good because Donald Trump is not a fan of Peter Mandelson, called him a clown. Trump liked the prior ambassador, who was not a political apparatchik, but actually a professional careerist, highly regarded by Democrats in Washington in Democrats and Republicans in Washington. In fact, so highly regarded that the president is expected to visit King Charles in Scotland at some point very soon, and has invited the former ambassador, a U.S. ambassador, to come. So the new guy out, turns out he was too close to Jeffrey Epstein. Wow. All right, I got to move on. Charlie Kirk and I were both supporters of Hillsdale College, and you get the opportunity to support Hillsdale as well if you go to ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. You sign up with Hillsdale College. They've got about 40 different classes to choose from. There's a great one on the founding of our republic, one on the Federalist Papers, C.S. Lewis and Shakespeare, the economics, chemistry, math, history, literature, you name it. It's fantastic stuff. And their video lectures, every episode of each class is like 30 minutes long. They're videos. And it depends on the class that you take, how many episodes there are. But you do it at your own pace. You get a certificate of completion when you're done. All you have to do is go to ericforhillsdale.com, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. You sign up with Hillsdale College. You start a relationship with them. They're one of the best academic institutions in the country. They believe in education, not indoctrination, and they've got 40 different classes for you to choose from to get a sense of who they are and what they do. And in the process, you'll be getting smarter about a topic you are interested in. So go to Eric, E-R-I-C-K, ericforhillsdale.com. Sign up with Hillsdale College today. Now, I got to tell you, I'm hoping tomorrow we'll have other news. Today, that was the only news, but we'll see what tomorrow brings. You guys have a great afternoon, and just pray.
More local news.
Full ground stop at the airport. Meanwhile, Governor Kemp reacting.
More traffic.
Interloop injury crash, 2 left lanes.
More weather.
This thunderstorm is capable of producing a quick spin up.
Atlanta's Morning News. Tomorrow morning at 5.
Wake up with 95.5 WSB.
How Atlanta starts its day.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard.
Story after story about how AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile are raising prices to the sky on your cell phone plan. And the reality is, you're almost certainly paying not just too much, way too much if you buy your service from any of the big three. And one of the little secrets about the industry is the big three all have their own discount brands that they own that run on their same network and typically charge less than half per month per person what you pay for the big brand name. So unless you work for some giant corporation that doesn't care what things cost and you're paying your own bill, you need to reshop your cell phone service and go use my comparison tool at Clark.com to find the best deal for you. I'm Clark Howard.
News, weather,
Traffic.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's news and talk.
At 3 o'clock, I'm Bill Caiaccio with our top story. Authorities say there are rapid developments in the search for the shooter who killed Charlie Kirk.
Is on top of the building on the far north side, just east of the library, wearing jeans, black shirt, black vest.
That's from Broadcastify. Law enforcement officials say the sniper who assassinated Kirk has not been identified, but reporter Pierre Thomas says authorities have